In this video, we show how to solve more than two-step equations. This is a continuation video after our solving one-step or two-step equations. The strategy for solving these equations is, if possible, first simplify on both sides of the equal sign by removing any grouping symbols, that is parentheses, and combining any like terms. All right, so let's jump right into it by looking at some practice problems. Okay, here we're asked to solve this equation, and we can see that we have, like terms on this side of the left side of the equation. For example, a -4 and a -20 are like terms. Also, on the right-hand side of the equation, the 6x is a like term with the x, and the -3x. So before we even try to do anything, we need to combine those like terms. So now -4 and -20 give us a -24. And now this x here is really like 1x. So there's an understood 1 right in front of that x. So 6x plus 1x is going to give us a 7x. And then 7x minus 3x is going to give us a 4x. All right, now we got closer to we combined like terms, and we got closer to getting x by itself. Next, we need to, remove anything that's next to x. So that is this 4. We have to remove that. And 4 is multiplying x. So we have to undo that multiplication. And the way to undo the multiplication is what? Right, to divide both sides by 4. So we're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 4. And 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1 times x is x. So we got x equal to -6. All right, moving on to the next. All right, here we see we have parentheses, right? So whenever you see a parentheses, you have to remove those parentheses, right? Not just by erasing a parenthesis, but removing parentheses means we have to distribute the number that's right in front of those parentheses throughout the parentheses. So let's go ahead and do that. So that means we want to take 2 and multiply it to this 2p, and then we want to take 2 and multiply it to the -3. In the same way over here, 2 and p, and 2 and 5. So this is going to give us 4p minus 6 equal to 2p plus 10, right? Now that we've removed the parenthesis, we need to combine like terms, right? There are no like terms on the left side. We can't add or subtract 4p and 6 because they're not like terms. But we need to get the p's on one side of the equation, the p terms on one side, and the non-p terms on the opposite side of the equation. Now, there's many paths we can take to accomplish this, but all paths should lead to the same place. In other words, so it doesn't matter what you do at this point. So we can add, let's say we want to add 6 to both sides. Let's just take one path. Add 6 to both sides, right? So I'm going to add 6 to the left. I'm adding 6 to the right. All right, now, plus 6 minus 6 cancel out to 0, bringing down the 4p as the only thing left on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, we got 2p plus 16, all right? Next, we almost got the like terms on the same side. So we're going to go ahead now and subtract 2p on both sides of the equal sign. because by doing that, we'll have the p's on one side of the equation and the non-p terms on the opposite side of the equal sign. Right? This is going to make us have 2p on the left and 16 on the right. All right, now one more step to go and we'll be done solving this. Let's bring it over here. All right, next thing we need to do is get rid of that 2. So go ahead and divide 2 on both sides so we can see that p is equal to 8. Right. All right, next let's do number 3. All right, here, same thing. We have a parenthesis. We have to get rid of that parenthesis by using the distributive property. It says that whenever you have a number next to a parenthesis, it means you need to multiply that number throughout the parenthesis. So we're going to do 4 times 2x and 4 times negative 6. This is going to give us 8x minus 24 minus 16. All right, and now we see that we do have like terms, right? The like terms here are negative 24 and negative 16. They need to be combined. Right, so when you combine negative 24 and negative 16, you get 40 or negative 40. All right, next I want to, the goal is to get x by itself. So how about adding 40 to both sides, right? Because we want the non-x terms on one side of the equal sign and the x terms on the opposite side of the equal sign. So I'm going to go ahead and add 40 to both sides of the equation. This will give us 8x on the left equal to 40 on the right. Now we almost got x by itself now. And so you can see that the last thing to do is to divide both sides by 8. So that x is equal to 40 over 8, which is 5. All right, let's do some more. Okay, number 4. Now, in number 4, you can see we have parentheses going on. We also have some like terms here. Now, there may be a temptation to go ahead and try to subtract 3 minus 2 to get 1, but don't fall into that trap. Instead, notice that multiplication must be performed before any subtraction, because we still got to keep in mind the order of operations. So instead of subtracting 3 minus 2, we need to take this negative 2 and distribute it, right, to remove those parentheses. So let's go ahead and do that. That'll make us have 3 minus 2y. Now, a negative times negative is a positive. But we can subtract these two like terms. That'll give us 5, right? Now here we got, now here at this point, there may be a temptation to try to subtract 4 on both sides, or to try to subtract 3 on both sides to get y by itself. But no, before you try to, add or subtract things on both sides of the equations, first combine any like terms, right? So you want to combine, we do have like terms, the 4 and 3. So we need to combine those like terms first. Now, 3 plus 4 is going to give us 7. So now 7 minus 2y equal 5. All right, and so now our goal is to get rid of the 7 and to get rid of the negative 2, and then we'll have y by itself. So again, from our previous video, we know that we should get rid of the 7 first, since it's furthest away from y. All right, so we're going to go ahead and subtract 7 on both sides of the equal sign. Subtract 7 on the left-hand side. Subtract 7 on the right-hand side. And that's going to leave us on the left-hand side negative 2y. And on the right-hand side, we're going to have negative 2. All right, we got a little closer to getting y by itself. The last step is to undo that negative 2. And to undo that, which is it's multiplying y, so we do the opposite, which is to divide both sides by negative 2. Right? That gives us 1. Now 1 times y is just y. So our final answer is going to be just 1. Right? Because negative divided by negative is a positive. All right, moving on to number 5. Here again, there may be a tendency to try to subtract 4 minus 6 first, but no. First we got to remove these parentheses, right? So we're going to go ahead and distribute. This is going to make us have 7z minus 14 equal negative 4 minus 6z plus 6. All right, and we got like terms, right? So after using that distributive property, check to see if there are any like terms, right? And we do have like terms on the right-hand side here. We got the negative 4 and 6. So that's going to make us have 2 minus 6z. And on the left, we got 7z minus 14. All right, now here we want to get the z's on one side of the equal sign and the non-z terms on the opposite side of the equal sign. There's many paths you could take to accomplish this. No matter which path you take, you'll still get to the same place, right? So let's go ahead and take let's say we want to add 14 on both sides, right? So I'm going to add 14 on the left side. I'm going to add 14 on the right side. These negative 14 cancel, leaving us just 7z on the left-hand side equal to 16 minus 6z on the right. All right, now let's try to get the z's on one side of the equation. All right, so that means we need to add 6z on both sides. Right, after adding 6z on both sides, we'll have then 13z equal to 16. And we just about got z by itself. So the only thing we got to do is remove that 13. And we know that we have to just divide by 13 on both sides. 13 divided by 13 is 1, so z is equal to 16 divided by 13. And you can leave your answer like this. All right, moving on to the next. All right, here we can see we do have like terms right here with the 4y and the negative 5y. We also got parentheses going on here. So what we should do first is probably go ahead and distribute, remove these parentheses. So let's go ahead and do that. That's 4y minus 14. Negative times negative is going to make us have a positive 2y minus 5y equal negative 18. All right, now here we're going to combine like terms. 4y is a like term with 2y and 5y. So all of those can be combined. Now that's going to give us just 1y. minus 14 equal negative 18, right? Now we got a little closer to getting y by itself. Let us get rid of this 14 by adding 14 on both sides. So we're left with 1y equal to negative 4, right? Now 1y is the same thing as just y. So we're just saying that y equal negative 4, right? Last one, right here, when they have a negative right in front of parentheses like that, there's an understood 1 there. Right? So all we're doing is multiplying that 1, negative 1, throughout the parentheses. So this will lead us to negative 1, negative 7w, equal negative 8w plus 7. And then we want to get the w terms on the same side of the equal sign. So I'm going to go ahead and add 8w on both sides. It doesn't matter. You could have, subtracted 7 on both sides if you wanted to first. Or you could have added 1 on both sides. We still get to the same result, which is negative 1 plus w equal 7, giving us a final answer of w equal 8, right? I hope you found this video to be helpful. Like and subscribe. We hope to have many more videos to come. This was part of the math of numbers and symbols, but we feel that math is order in the broadest sense.